But you know, I first met Nick more than 10 years ago, I guess now. I never heard of him before. I was in Brussels and I was going to see Leon Brittan, the ex-Tory Margaret Thatcher Home Secretary, who was then a commissioner, European Commissioner. And after our meeting, which went on, with the President of Bosnia, I think, he took me to one side and said, look, I've got this bloke who's working for me. He is, without doubt, the brightest young person I've ever had anywhere in my entire career. I have dangled bags of gold in front of him and Tory safe seats to be a Tory, but for some bizarre reason he refuses to be and he's determined to be a Liberal Democrat. Would you like to meet him? And I think you should. And is there anything you can do to help him achieve that career? Because he's an exceptional political talent. So I did, and that was the start of my knowledge with Nick. And I have to say, those are exaggerated words, but I'm not much given to exaggerated words, but I think what Leon Brittan said to me actually has proved to be the case. I think he's one of the really high horsepower political talents of his generation. I don't know of anyone who is more gifted. He seems to have all the qualities that you need in politicians. One gave me some doubt, and I'll come back to that in a minute. He's got presence, charisma. Those are not uncommon in politics today, but I think he has a very deep knowledge, intellectual knowledge, and intellectual is the wrong word, a very deep sense about the politics of liberalism. And he's an outstanding communicator, and he has one of those gifts which Blair had in a way, and so did, for instance, David Penhaligon, who could speak in the language of ordinary people, take quite a complex thing and express it in terms that ordinary people. I had one person come up to me after his conference speech and said to me, you know, he's a fully paid up member of the human race, isn't he? He's not a member of the political class. Well, he is, but of course he is. But he has a capacity to be able to take quite complex things. And these are. He also writes like a dream, by the way, in some of his articles in the newspapers before he became elected were outstanding, I think. So I think he has all those. If I had a doubt about Nick, it was, did he have the grit? Did he have the courage? You know, you might say all those things about other politicians who have come up on the golden path by getting safe seats. And the answer to that is yes. I mean, I think he took one of the most extraordinary and courageous decisions when he decided to give up his Euro seat and fight the seat he's now in, Richard Allen's seat. And that's not easy. I mean, you know, I had to do that. I had to give up a safe career for my politics. And it was bloody tough, especially with a young family, which he's got. And I thought that showed a degree of political courage and commitment of a very high order. The easy thing for him to have done would have been to hang on to his Euro seat, and then, so that if he didn't win the seat he has now, he'd have had something to fall back on. He chose not to do that, and he said, you know, people need to know I'm committed to one thing. So, I think he's a quite extraordinary, potentially quite extraordinary politician now. You know, does he have to grow? Yes, he will. He does have to grow. Is he perfect? I'm sure he's not. None of us are. But I think there's tremendous room for growth there in this. So we are extremely fortunate to have a very high quality collection of people to think about in the party. I think they are undoubtedly the most talented cohort, young cohort of politicians in any political party today. So we are very, very fortunate to have a choice of the way that we do. But I've no doubt that Nick is head and shoulders above the rest of them, of a very talented crew.